Do you see me now? I think you do. Okay, great. Good. Welcome, everyone. In this session, we look at growing and scaling your business and what are some legal strategies to support you with that. I am Olivia Marcu-Iordanescu. I'm an international business lawyer and the founder of spotlegal.io, where we partner with high-performing multi-preneurs to streamline their legal processes so they get 8+ figure funding. And I'm super excited to be here with you in this session, as you can see. And I'm committed that you get the maximum value from this session and have something extremely valuable, like some action points that you can take away right from this session and implement them in your business. All right. We are live in my exclusive Facebook community that is called Legal Hacks for Entrepreneurs. I invite you all to join in this evening during this session. And we are also streaming on my Facebook and LinkedIn channels. And if you missed the session from the previous days, or you just tuned in later, then don't worry, the recordings will be available in my Facebook group, which is called Legal Hacks for Entrepreneurs. And you can get a chance to watch the replays by joining us there, and make sure to do so right after this session, because the recordings will be up only until Tuesday next week. Good. In this session, we will be looking at what are some legal strategies that my clients have used to grow and scale their businesses based on my 16 years of experience. We do a recap of everything we've discussed so far, all the tools I've given you already. We start looking into some of the questions that we're already getting from you at hello@spotlegal.io. Keep them coming, by the way. We won't dwell too much on the questions this evening, as tomorrow's session is specifically reserved and only for that. That's all we do. It's a Q&A session, a live Q&A session. What would really help is that you send your questions in advance, and I'll be happy to answer anything you have on the spot tomorrow evening. And finally, as in the other sessions, I'm committed that you take away from this very session 3 actionable items that you can implement in your business right after the session. So let's see what those are in this session. Who's excited about that? Let me know in the comments. Who's crazy about action? Right? Action in the comments. And give me a shout out wherever you are. Who is here with us in this session? Where are you tuning in from? I am curious to find out. Great, amazing. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to 5 days to organize your legal affairs and generate over $1 million in your business. This is our 4th session, but it's not the final one. Tomorrow evening is the final live Q&A session. It brings me such joy to be with you all. And thank you to everyone for showing up, and well done to you for doing the work and participating. It's really, really awesome to have you here tonight. So let's start. In this session, we are going to look at growing and scaling your business. What are some strategies that I've built or created with my clients over the years? I want to share that with you. And I want to recap and follow up a little bit on what we've looked at in the previous session, namely in the session about assets and monetizing them. So I cannot stress enough how important it is for you to know, understand, and master your business assets. So let me recap the following. If we said, An asset is a resource, something that has economic value, that has the potential to generate revenue in your business, as opposed to costing you a liability. Then what are some assets that you have today already available in your business and you're not exploiting for cash, you're not monetizing? And I've invited you to make a list, like an inventory. And I've given you some options of how you could exploit them. Now, your assets are and should be reported on your company's balance sheet. And if you haven't done so already, if you still have assets that you are using in your own name or on a different legal entity, then it is imperative that you bring those assets into your company or within your group of companies, if you have several companies in the structure, so that you can capitalize on it and reflect its value in your balance sheet, where your investors will be looking, and most importantly, where it will be best protected. So assets can be anything from cash in the bank, but also receivables. So amounts you know and expect to cash in at a certain point in time, to real estate and equipment and stock and participations and bonds and options and intellectual property we saw in the previous session. So trademark and patent, design, copyrighted materials, but also know-how, your own know-how, your team's know-how. We saw how important the team is, data, clients, etc. And depending on the type of asset, you can monetize it or exploit it so that it generates a certain type of revenue in your business in a different way. But the one way I choose to talk a lot about, and the one around which I built the whole masterclass, this entire masterclass series, is funding. Because at spotlegal.io, we partner with high-performing multi-preneurs who want to get funding, and we help them go through the preparation process for getting that funding. It is a simple, non-time consuming process in which we build a legal strategy with the business owners around their objectives, their goals, their vision, and we prepare and help them structure their business around what is important to them. So they not only get the funding that they desire, but also they achieve those goals and that vision. And we bring in our legal strategy, our experience in the field. Now, I said it's simple and non-time consuming, but the reality of it is that it's built on 16 years of experience, having assisted several multi-preneurs to access funding and get investments so they can achieve their goals. It's a long-standing experience. You can hear that. And I am committed that I make this process simple and accessible for every entrepreneur or founder out there. So you see, at spotlegal.io, our vision is to empower entrepreneurs to achieve their vision, what is of interest and importance to them, so they can make an impact in the world. And I am absolutely inspired by entrepreneurs for their courage to step into their leadership and transform the world. And it's an honor and a privilege for me to partner with you on that journey. So we always look at what is that future that you are committed to creating? How does it look in your business? And how we can partner with you in that, so that whatever legal roadmap we build together with you, it is something that supports you in the long run. It sets a strong legal foundation. I have stressed this over and over again, but it's the single most important thing in your business growth. It really helps your business operations optimize and scale, and you do it in a sustainable manner. At spotlegal.io, we believe not just in legal protection, we believe in legal empowerment, in integrity, and an impeccable client experience. So there is actually true story I want to tell you in respect to that. I always recall every conversation I've had with every CFO along the way with whom I worked, because typically when you get to this level, legal and finance have to be in a symbiosis. You have to have these two functions side by side, head to head, working on making your vision come true. So I've always worked with CFOs in all of the previous projects where we were preparing to get funding. And like I said, it's like a synergy, a symbiosis that forms there. And these conversations that we have are typically around what and how we do, how we build something that supports the founders, the business owners in the longer run, in what they want to achieve, and also looking back and seeing how companies with which I worked still continue to this day to use those legal templates and processes that I've created. And it's like something seamless, that it becomes absolutely natural, like a given in the business operations. That is what drives me and motivates me. And like I said, this reminds me of an actual true story and an important lesson that I got in my life from my mother very early on in my career, and actually even as a young girl growing up. We are in our neighborhood, coming home from the supermarket from across the street. It's summer. I can remember it like today. And when we come into the yard, we had a house. When we come in, we run into Simona. And it's such a surprise. Simona says, "Hello, Mrs. Iordanescu. Hello, Olivia." We hadn't seen Simona in a really long time. She was visiting her parents from Holland, where she moved to study chemistry. And we exchange pleasantries, and she tells us how it's been for her throughout the years. And then at some point, Simona says, "Mrs. Iordanescu, I will always be grateful for those tooth fillings you did for me. I still have them after all those years, and I've never had any more issues." And that was my first lesson that I got from my mom. And later in my life, in my career, because she's a medical doctor, she's a dentist, but later in my life, she sat down with me, and I was at a point in my career where my father had just passed away. I had entered the legal profession, and unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to work with him, to have him as my mentor, even though he was a lawyer. He was a great lawyer. Let me correct that. And I was confiding in my mom and telling her, "Mom, it's tough." And she said to me, and what she said to me then really stuck with me. She said, "Olivia, just like you take care of yourself, your well-being, your health, that's how you're going to take care of your clients." And that really stuck with me and really spoke to me, because I was obsessed at the moment as a young woman with my well-being, my looks, and so on and so forth. And I got it, that the way I treat my clients is the way in which they're going to get the results in their business. And so it is for you in your business. Just as you take care of yourself, you want to take care of your business. And if there is any area in your life where you feel that you're being sloppy, have a look where you're being sloppy in your business. Now, why I'm telling you all this, yeah, It's pretty obvious, right? The only way to grow and scale in your business is to bring integrity in every area of your business. And you start with a strong legal foundation and with managing your contracting powerfully, things that we looked at in the previous sessions. And then the next level for you is creating processes, creating flows, and creating procedures in your business that allow you to scale and grow in a sustainable way. So let's take some examples, right? Document flow procedure. From accounting and tax to contracting to letters and notices and even complaints. Have you mapped out how a document enters or gets created in your company and what happens to it up to and including the moment when it doesn't exist anymore? It's terminated or destroyed or archived, right? Contract life cycle management. Have you mapped out who is responsible from the beginning till the end of your contracts for the generation, for drafting, revisions, for changes and amendments, for signing, termination, and archiving? You need to have all that process in place. Billing and invoicing. Who needs to issue, pay, dispute, monitor, approve, store? Do you do factoring, and so on and so forth? Defaults and debt collection. Do you have clear procedures in place around that? And who is responsible in your company around that? Do you have a marketing campaign flow and what follows after that? The intake, the onboarding, and so on and so forth. What about technical updates and maintenance and upgrades? And if you are a services provider, do you have service level agreements with your clients? How do you manage that? Do you have a data management system that is consistent with the GDPR and privacy rules, not just in theory, right? Or on the paper, but as a matter of fact? Like, what are some internal processes? How do you store the data? What do you do with the data? What are the processing activities? Who intervenes with the data? This is what is required in order for you to grow and scale your business. You need to have systems in place that support you in that. And so we show you how to create that powerfully and to leverage that for in your business growth. And once all the relevant systems are in place, but mind you, not any systems, okay? Those systems that empower you in achieving your business goals, then we help you choose the best scaling strategy for you. From building a referral network or a franchise model or a partnership network to a licensing revenue model to funding and seeking investments. There is not a one size fits all, and growth models are not exclusive of each other, just as not all models are for everyone. So that is why the first session is always a legal strategy session with me, where we get to create what is important to you, and we help you build a roadmap that inspires and empowers you in your business goals. And this session is free, but is absolutely necessary, okay? So I invite you to book that session tonight, right after this session, and get started on your journey. And for those of you who are in the beginning of your journey and you have not quite yet figured out what your long-term goals are, you're just trying to deal with building your prototype or get enough traction and validation, then we have also prepared something to support you. If you are interested, just write startup in the comments and let us know. I want you to know that this is a marathon, not a sprint. And every action you take today is going to have a ripple effect in the future. And so any action is better than no action, right? When you choose one of our legal plans, you get access to an experienced business lawyer that can guide you and empower you in this journey. So, to sum up, because I promised I'd give you 3 actionable items that you can take away from this evening. Number 1 is bring your assets in your company so that you can reflect their value in the balance sheet. Number 2, look at what are some processes and operating procedures you can put in place that support you in your business growth and scaling strategy. And number 3, book a legal strategy session with me to create a roadmap that supports you in your vision and start really early on. And for those of you who are in the very beginning, you can alternatively have a look at the legal plans that we made available on the platform, and also have a look at the legal templates, okay? We've prepared bundles there, and then you get an opportunity to start your business on a strong legal foundation, and then we can take it from there. There is something to build from there. Now, I told you in the beginning, I do want to address some questions we've already received. And one that I noticed is a recurring is whether it is still possible to get funding in 2023. Who was asking this question? I know some of you are in here tonight. I keep saying tonight because I'm down in Germany and it is a little past 6 p.m. for us. It's already dark outside, and you know, we're getting into the Christmas mood. But it's evening for me. Let me know, yeah, who was having this as a main question? Who was into funding in the coming year and interested in the trends? Right. So to answer your question, the answer is yes. There will be funding available. The sources are various. Perhaps funds and private equity will see a transformation in 2023, but more and more states and the European Union intervene, and they have become a strong player in the funding market. The intention is to stimulate innovation and growth, and small and medium-sized enterprises don't get stuck in the news in what's happening with large corporations. Take action, however small it may look to you now or today. Attend events, build relationships with your clients, and you will find a way for accomplishing your vision. And I am here to tell you it is possible. I've taken businesses through the good and the evil, as they say, real estate crises and insolvencies and bankruptcies, and I'm here to support you. So getting funding or getting your assets to work for you in a way that they generate revenue for you is a mindset thing. Money is a mindset thing. So before anything else, you need to believe in yourself, and you need to believe enough in your vision and stay committed to that vision that it's going to happen sooner or later. It's just a question of time. And if you want to make time your friend, then you want to partner with us to support you with your legal strategy. Good, because that's what we're best at, right? Acing your investor meetings and calls and standing there by your side, so that you do what is required for you to get your desired funding. I will see you tomorrow evening in the live Q&A session. Send me your questions at hello@spotlegal.io. Bring pen and paper as usual, and your holiday outfit. I expect everyone to have a glass of their favorite poison. We're gonna toast for a powerful 2023. Be bold, leaders.